Hello, this is S.K. Williams, and today I would like to talk to you about Velma. By Velma, I mean the new HBO Max series, the animated adult comedy, which was created by Mindy Kaling and stars Mindy Kaling as Mindy Kaling, pretending to be Velma. However, I don't really have time to make a proper video. My house burned down a few years ago, and it's been rather hard after that to work things out. My life is improving incrementally, but it has been a rather difficult challenge. So I just want to get this out there because I have not seen anyone speak of it. Perhaps someone has. However, I have not been watching the show. I have been watching the reviews. But I believe that even though the reviews are not the show, I think I've noticed something about the show and its storyline that most people have missed. To be fair, I haven't listened to everything, so someone else may have observed the same thing or come up with the same idea. I just don't know. And it's not really fair to think that I am somehow more clever than the people reviewing the show. It's just that I actually thought about the storyline, and they are mainly focused about what makes the show not work, which frankly seems perfectly valid to me because the show looks atrocious. I may actually watch it myself one day, but I understand the criticism, and I understand that takes your mind away from the actual plot progression. You're instead focused on what has already happened and why it does not work, as well as all of the incidentals of the story, which aren't necessarily unimportant to a plot line, but aren't really part of the overall outline and framework, but rather part of a finished product, like the jokes. If I were to outline a story, even a comedy, it comes off as very basic, and most comedies, not all but most, aren't all that funny when you simply outline the story. That's not to say that the other parts you put onto it aren't important. They are often the entire point, but the general progression of events is what I'm talking about, and a lot of people don't really focus on that when they are being critical of a series and discussing why it doesn't work. So, this isn't an attempt to elevate myself, it's just I have an interesting theory. Having said that, I've noticed a recurring theme in all the clips I've seen and all of the mentions of it. The show infamously begins with Velma talking about how most origin stories are basically rich white men gaining more power and other things like that. But very early on, they go into the school shower where they sexualize teenage girls. And right before they do that, we see two cockroaches come out from under, I believe it's a bag or perhaps the trash can, and begin having sex. On its own, that means nothing. But I've noticed the roaches keep showing up. Like when the other girl is found in the dumpster, Krista. And I know that because I looked it up. When they find her body in a dumpster with her brain removed, it is covered with roaches. And you see little scenes scattered about of roaches crawling all over. So, here is my theory. The roaches have something to do with the actual murders. they're not just there on the dead bodies, they have something to do with the actual murders. I don't know what that is yet, and perhaps I'd have a better idea if I'd actually watched the show. It could be that the roaches are somehow killing people. Perhaps they are dispensing with the man in a mask trope of Scooby-Doo and going with the later incarnation's idea of real monsters. Or perhaps someone is taking the brains out of the people and somehow transforming them into roaches, or breaking them down and installing them in roaches. But I do think the roaches have something to do with the plotline. And the only reason I'm making this video is because I want to be one of the first, if not the first, to call this. Having said that, I shall take my leave of you now. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.